How do you pack for a one-way journey back to a country you left when you were 11 and have not visited for 50 years? Around lunchtime on the 24th of October 2017, staff at the Yarlswood Immigration Removal Centre in Bedfordshire told 61-year-old Paulette Wilson to gather her belongings and get ready to be taken to another holding centre near Heathrow Airport, where she was due to be placed on a plane and sent back to Jamaica. After half a century in Britain, she had been classified as an illegal immigrant and was scheduled for imminent removal. Packing did not take long. The clothes she had been wearing when she was arrested a week earlier had been confiscated, leaving her with nothing she could call her own. She put the detention centre-issued toothbrush and nightclothes into a large plastic laundry bag, along with a towel, some soap, some underwear which had been provided by the guards. She looked at the grey prison tracksuit she had been given and wondered how she would manage in Jamaica with no appropriate clothes and no money. Staff led her to an upstairs room to wait for a van to transfer her to Heathrow. For a moment, Paulette, a cook who had worked in the House of Commons canteen, was quiet, dazed by her own terror. Then she asked if she could call her daughter, Natalie. She dialed the number, waited for Natalie to pick up, and began to scream. "They're taking me away, you have to stop them." This was a distressing call for Natalie at home in Wolverhampton. She barely recognised her mother's voice, which had become distorted by fear, and she had trouble understanding the words. The only thing that was really clear was a repeated plea. "Natalie, you have to help me." Staff were disgruntled by the noise Paulette was making and tried to remonstrate with her. She told them she would strip herself naked if they tried to put her on a plane and would try to kill herself. Most officers at Yarlswood get rapidly jaded by the daily business of handling distraught detainees. They paid little attention to the threats. "Calm down, Mrs. Wilson," they told her, as they led her to a prison van. She was driven 60 miles to an airport detention centre and locked on a wing with about 8 cells. An official prison inspection report describes the high-security centre as gloomy, bleak, and in many areas unclean. But Paulette was too alarmed to take in her surroundings. She could hear the roar of aeroplanes taking off from nearby runways. And somewhere out of sight, the cries of another woman who she assumed was being taken away for immediate deportation. From one side of the unit, she watched 2 officers working through a pile of papers and saw them checking off each person with the words, "She's going, she's going, she's going." She cried in the shower, imagining her new life in Jamaica, a country where she has no surviving relatives. The last time she had been there, in 1968, she had been wearing white, knee-high socks, an orange dress, and the matching orange ribbons that her mother had tied in her hair before sending her away. Since then, a lifetime had passed, and now she was about to embark on a plane for the return journey, a grey-haired grandmother wearing prison clothes. An official had asked her, in an apparent gesture of thoughtfulness, which airport in Jamaica she would like to be returned to. Paulette had explained that this was a very peculiar question, pointing out despairingly that she could hardly be expected to have a view on Jamaica's available airport options, since she had not flown there, or indeed flown anywhere, or even left England for 50 years. This reply does not seem to have perturbed the official compiling the return logistics report, who wrote in the preferred home country airport box of the questionnaire, "Cannot provide a response as she has been here so long." The report, which is littered with typos and bears the sign of having been written in great haste, also noted that the detainee had made no preparations to return home because she has been here since arriving at the age of 10 to be with grandparents.